Hello, my name is Malik Abbas-Dabu. Welcome to PM Express. If you live in Nigeria, Lagos to be precise, your biggest fear may be that some strong, well-built men will seize you and exact a ransom from your family or your company before you are released. But because you live in Ghana, this may appear too distant for you to bother. But consider this. You are in a plane flying from Amsterdam or New York or Nairobi heading to Accra. And then suddenly you hear an announcement. The plane has lost control. The pilot has lost control of the plane. If this is still too distant, for an example, consider this. You are in a VIP bus from Kumasi or Tamale or Ho. All of a sudden, someone sitting somewhere takes control of the bus, rendering the driver utterly helpless. Imagine that the person controlling the bus demands a ransom. Will you or will you not pay? If you don't pay, the bus most probably will land in the next stream, probably polluted by galamsey operators. Scary, right? Well, that's exactly what happened this week in Europe and the Americas when a group of hackers hijacked the operating systems of airports, airlines, and other companies demanding a ransom. Those in the cyber world describe this as ransomware, perpetrated by cyber criminals who are using criminal methods to hijack sensitive information of companies and individuals and using same to extort money from them. This is happening in Europe and the Americas, where one could say with certainty that they have far better and more robust IT security systems. Can Ghana survive an attack of this scale? What should the authorities be doing to contain or deal with a similar attack in Ghana? On PM Express today, I bring you a crack team of experts who will answer all these questions. Keep watching. You're welcome. You're watching PM Express, and today we are talking cybersecurity and related matters. My guests are persons who are famous for their work in this area. To my immediate left is Mr. Albert Inchubu-Isaku. He's a principal consultant at the E-Crime Bureau. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you.
And of course, my friend, I've been with him on radio many times, Maximus Ametogo. He is a digital marketing strategist. If you send him a message in the middle of the night on any social media network, you should expect a response. Maximus, welcome.
Thank you very much.
When you heard this, let me start with you, Albert.
Correct.
When you heard this attack and this hijacking, what was your immediate response?
Well, I think within the industry that we are operating, some of those things are expected.
So you were expecting this?
In terms of our expectation on cyber attack, yes. At any point in time, those things are likely to happen.
On this scale?
Well, on the scale, nobody imagined that just a single day, more than 100 countries
150 countries, more than 200,000.
So in terms of expecting means, it shouldn't be, nobody should be surprised that we wake up one day, multi-TV, Joy FM, your system have been, hijacked. That is the kind of expectation I'm talking about. But in terms of the scale and the manner in which the attack was coordinated, I think that is what even has overwhelmed advanced economies and law enforcement agencies. We were not expecting that. On a single day, close to 150 countries, more than 200,000 devices globally will be infected by this attack. So that is the kind of feedback, the kind of analysis that we did.
Maximum, break this down for me. I tried using the VIP bars as an example. That's my illiterate way of breaking it down for better understanding.
Yes.
You are the expert. Break it down for me. What does this attack mean?
So the ransomware is a virus that somebody has designed, and even though it's linked to the National Security Agency in the USA, some WikiLeaks information leaked, and this was supposed to be part of the documents that leaked, and somebody just built this virus on it. So basically, it's like you owning a house, you have your keys, and then somebody comes to change the locks, and then locks up the house and says, hey, if you don't give me 10,000 Ghana cedis, I won't give you access to your house.
They have taken over your house.
Yes.
So in this attack, how do we relate to this takeover from the house to what actually happened?
So that's what they call the ransomware, because you're supposed to pay a ransom before your machine can be unlocked for you. You'll be given access to your files and your computers.
And when we are talking machines, files, ransomware, virus, what are we talking about? Because I have cousins in Bukugu you're watching.
Yeah, so you have, because companies now do a lot of stuff on their computers. They've digitized their processes. So typically, some of the hospitals that have been attacked in UK, for example, they have all these patients' records on it. So somebody needs to be operated and the doctor would need some information immediately to act upon it. And these viruses have hijacked those devices and locked up the machine, so you can't access.
So doctors cannot get the information to work on.
So data has become like a currency. It's like a treasure trove that they've locked up till you pay a ransom through their system. So the Bitcoin currency system, you will not have access to your data.
Hey, Maximus is talking about Bitcoin currency. What does that mean?
Well, Bitcoin is, should I call the new payment system? It has started. I think even in Ghana, there are evidence of people trading in Bitcoin. For the sake of non-technical audience, we know the Forex Bureau. For example, if you want American dollars, what do? You take your Ghanaians to this, walk to a Forex, and they give you the equivalent.
So you're talking about the Forex Bureau.
Yeah. Now the Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, more like a digital currency. Which is, generated through computation, a system of computers which are distributed globally, right? It hasn't got a centralized command as we have the central bank regulating our finances. So it's a distributed computers globally, and those digital, strings of currencies are being issued. Now, what happens is, if you want to make payments using cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, you have to convert your physical cash or possibly money you have in your credit card onto a Bitcoin, a code. And that is paid into somebody's wallet. So more like the mobile money.
So they have created their own currency in which to trade.
It's not creating their own currency. The Bitcoin is not illegal. It's registered in the US, so it is not really an illegal kind of financial transaction. It's just that it provides certain anonymity. If you want, even mobile money Ghana, if you want to, do mobile money, you need to go provide some kind of identification. With Bitcoin, you don't need anything. So you can actually use a fictitious identity, but generate a wallet, and you can move money in and do transactions. So it certainly becomes a conduit for criminal activities, and that is perfectly the reason why the attackers use the Bitcoin medium to receive the payment.
I guess what I was talking about is the fact that it's far more difficult to trace this any transaction in Bitcoins than in normal dollar or euro or pound.
Yeah. You walk to directly to the bank or to the mobile money operator or to the Forex to do that, and records are kept. Or probably CCTV will capture you.
Okay.
In there, no. And let's add this. When they pay money into the wallet, it's not the guys are smart. It's not like they take the money right away. They will be pushing the money to different wallets. So different chains before probably they convert them into physical cash or put them on their credit card and debit cards to catch them. So you're going to have multiple layers of difficulty to be able to actually trace them if you make an attempt.
Okay, so Maximus, where do we stand now with this attack? What are the authorities doing in Europe, in the Americas?
I think they are as much as possible getting their experts right to make sure that they stall it. Somebody, a 22-year-old, was able to develop some mechanism to stall the spread, but the guys have been able to upgrade or update the virus, and they have a new variant now which is also spreading.
Wow.
Right? So Microsoft has come up with a solution to be able to patch the weakness in their Windows operating system, especially the older versions. That's where we have the vulnerability that the system can hijack. So as much as possible, they are advising people to update their operating system so that they can stop the spread of the ransomware.
Are these guys who know what they're about, or they are just some busybody who took an advantage because nobody was looking and created problems for everyone?
Malik, cyber security is a big business, and cybercrime is also a bigger business, right? The last time I checked,
that's why he formed the crime
yes,
bureau.
the drug industry is about $480 billion. Now, when companies are supposed to invest about $200 billion in making sure they are not attacked, and they are supposed to invest close to $500 billion to resolve breaches and cyber attacks. That's like $700 billion, which is even bigger than the drug industry. So the guys who are in that particular space, in that dark spot on the web, know what they are doing, right? So they cannot be traced, they cannot be tracked, and it will be difficult for them to even be tracked in the first place. So if they are collecting money, now first they used to hijack the system, maybe turn your machine into what they call a botnet or a zombie machine to attack other systems. So for example, if you have a website, they can use other machines to drive very huge traffic to that site to pull it down or to
like they did to Major Online, Ghana Web, and Peace FM Online, and City FM Online, and all of that.
Now they are interested in the cash, the business angle of it. So we lock your system up, pay us some money, and have it open.
Albert, when Major Online was attacked,
Correct.
and we had conversation with you and your institution, what was the nature of that attack compared to this one?
All right. I think it wasn't only Joy Online.
Yes, it was City FM. In fact, it actually started with City FM Online, then it went to Ghana Web, then Peace FM Online, then Major Online.
We did analysis. There were more than 7 media websites which were targeted. And at that level, it was also unique because we had not detected within a particular month where more than 7 media houses, their website.
Yeah, the frequency of it. Absolutely. And the peculiarity of it, because it's like specifically media houses.
Basically, what happened was DDoS, distributed denial of service.
Denial of service.
Where your website were flooded with unnecessary, abnormal traffic. People sitting somewhere, for whatever reason, will just be sending traffic. Because sometimes when you see people visiting your site, you're happy, you're counting the numbers. Not every IP address. Not every IP address is actually.
Some of it is fake.
Okay, and I think there were fundamental issues that I think we need to bring to bear. We identified that one particular website, was on a shared hosting with other 42 sites. You don't put in this current age a media house, a well-known brand, putting your site on a share hosting system of 42. If any of the 42 is targeted,
you naturally become a victim.
Yeah. There is also other issue.
But that's not Major Online.
Well, I don't want to give names here.
Right.
But we're looking at the ecosystem. What we are not doing right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a point of interest to me personally as industry practitioner, because I believe that cyber attack will always happen. I did tell you that we shouldn't be surprised that an attack has happened. Yeah. So we are interested to look at our environment. What is the state of our cybersecurity? Let's say multimedia or Major Online. Those are the questions I would like to ask to get answers. So that was one fundamental problem. But you could also identify that sometimes when they purchase the domain, the hosting, the bandwidth, the volume. Space that you need to allocate to hold traffic very limited. You need to pay more to have a wider space so that when you have the right
creates
traffic,
redundancy.
Redundancy here is another one. Backup and mirroring your website is another area that we're also expecting media houses to do. So the whole of Joy Online, at every point in time, you should have a mirror copy so that let's say when that site is hit
You can just
by
move on.
DDoS attack, you just quickly move and then replace it so that it can still, be. We didn't see this, but also regular audits of your website. We didn't see that. Monitoring, using technology also to really profile the network. There are systems.
And I guess what you are saying, Maximus, I guess what Albert is saying goes beyond just these news portals.
Yeah.
But it goes for government agencies, institutions, businesses as well.
Yeah, actually, you see, they are more interested in people who have valuable data that they use frequently, that they must pay some money for. Okay, if I said you should pay me, if I say you should pay me $300, right, to resolve your issue for you, and at the same time you can reformat everything, that $300 can even buy a new laptop.
Correct.
Which one will you go for?
Okay.
Right.
You'd rather buy
So
a new one.
yeah, so they are targeting critical machines with critical data on them. So they will not attack your mobile phone or a media house, because the media houses, you can pull your stuff together and then reboot your website if you have backup or you've mirrored it. But for a hospital, a government institution, and a telecom company in Spain was hit, one also in Russia, right? Those guys need their system to be protected, because you need some credibility even from your customers. Your customers must have believe in you that, hey, even though we are using your network, your network is secured as we are also secured. So if you have vulnerability and they can attack your system, they will not, you lose customers from that angle. Now remember, when the Heartbleed thing happened about 2 years ago, there's also another vulnerability on the server. Some of the banking portals, even in Ghana, in the US, even Apple, Google, and all those guys were all affected.
Yeah, I remember that some credit card crisis.
Yeah. So as for cyber attack, it's going to happen, but you have to be ready to be able to, stop it. Otherwise, they will pull your system down and your business will lose out.
Albert, are companies paying?
Paying for what?
I mean, when they suffer attacks,
Correct.
Are companies giving into these? Are people paying the ransoms? Are institutions and individuals paying the ransoms?
One thing is, nobody will pay and come and tell you, no company, unless it's not a company. Reputational issues. Yeah. Let's be real, so that we don't create.
But where you said that they pay.
No, it's not that. No, look, let's focus.
Or
on
you
substance.
just won't say it.
Now, I'm just giving you scenarios where a company may pay, and where a company may not pay, so that at the end of the day you'll be able to do your own analysis. Mathemos is talking about critical data. Critical data means that if I don't get that data, I can't survive. My business cannot operate. That is critical. It's the heart of my operations, right? So we have defined the value of that information, critical. I haven't done a backup. I don't have any option of retrieving the data.
Doing backup means you have
I wish you'd allow me to do this.
Yeah, I just wanted to break it down so that people understand. When you say you haven't done a backup, what you're actually talking about, have the same information stored somewhere else.
Great.
So that when you lose this one, you can fall back on that.
Exactly. And it mentioned the value of the computer probably is less than the 300 USD. 300 USD. So this is another. There is no option. I'm losing customer. The business is coming down. What will you do in that circumstance? What will you do as a business?
Maybe you pay.
Maybe, or you pay.
Yeah, you pay. Because I have to protect.
Then on the other hand, I've got a backup. Right? Sitting there. Certainly, you wouldn't pay that amount of money. You cut this device off the network, shut it down, reset yourself up. Probably do what you didn't do. Let's say you didn't apply the patches which Microsoft released. In the case of this global attack, there were fundamental, either poor actions or inactions of human beings who were supposed to do something. Either you apply the patches, probably you are using an operating system which is cracked, it's not a genuine license, so that also raises a question. Or somebody was supposed to do the patch today, he didn't do. He was waiting for the next 3 days. Look, when those things, your organization, you are following this cyber best practices, I don't think you're going to pay any money. The criminals will still attempt you. They might not get you, but even if they get you, there are levels of protection measures that you have put in place.
Do people know? I mean, businesses and individuals.
Correct.
Do we know that these are the risks and these are the things that we must do to protect ourselves against the risks?
I think, Malik, within the last 6 years, I've seen significant improvement in terms of the businesses in Ghana, their awareness with respect to cybersecurity. There has been some kind of positive development.
Thanks to work by people like you.
We have. I mean, that's our responsibility. You know, beyond the business, I think as an industry players, we have a responsibility at least to create that awareness. Look, people got to know that this is a risk. If I do this, there are repercussions on my business, right? It's always good, and our approach has always been being frank with client businesses, and then they decide which course of action to take. That's why I wanted to give two scenarios. At the point where a business will have to pay to get the data, the criminals make their money, and a situation where the businesses who are proactive in adopting cyber security measures wouldn't do that. So there has been. The only challenge here is the willingness of businesses to put in money. Investing in cyber security has been the biggest problem. It's not like they don't know. But I tend to believe that, you know, when you haven't been hit, the thinking is, oh, I cannot be hit. So businesses are secure only because they haven't been targeted. But that is not, should I put it, a proactive risk management thing.
Are the risk management systems themselves foolproof, Maximus? Because before we got on set, I was just reading the story about Disney.
Oh, okay.
Disney systems were hijacked, and these criminals said, if Disney doesn't pay, there's a movie they are about to release. They will release it.
Yeah, so Sony
So
Pictures.
you have spent huge amounts of money to produce a movie, and then these guys now come and say, if you don't pay us money, we're going to release it and we'll make it free. We'll put it online and everybody will have access to it. All your investments
will go down the drain.
Will go down the drain.
So it means that the system wasn't secured. And why should you even connect a system that you're using to produce your movies to the internet if you're not transferring files or sharing files with people? Right? It's not every device that has to be connected to the internet. Right? If it's not something that you're used to transmit information or communicate with other people, you don't need to do that. Now, most of this, the hardware, you have hardware vulnerability before you have software vulnerability. This particular one is a software vulnerability. What you are talking about can also be both, right? But the ransomware, this is not a new case. It's been in the system for a very long time. I remember that's the Sony Pictures
Sony
story.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're a business and you don't see the value in protecting, this particular program you are doing, that you need to store it somewhere to keep a copy instead of just having it on some hard drive that will crash or will fall down and then that's the end of it. You are not being proactive. So you have to reduce the risk by making sure your softwares are up to date, your hardwares are secured, and any communication that you're having, usually these guys push documents to you through emails, right? So it's an attachment. Click on it to open it. Suspicious emails must not be opened. Things that don't go to free websites to go and download movies or pictures that you must pay for. If you go to those sites, that's why they also introduce viruses onto your hard drive and your systems, and then they can exploit any vulnerability on those systems or software.
So sometimes it actually comes from us.
Yes.
Ask him what he is accessing on his mobile phone.
Yes.
Which site do you visit? Possibly.
Oh, I mean, news websites a lot. Google, the search engines.
Should we run forensic analysis on his device? The other contraband information. You see, we don't want to expose you on that. But I'm happy
you won't find anything.
I'm happy you brought out the human aspect.
Yeah.
You see, the cybersecurity issue is not just a technology issue, right? The technology dimension is just one aspect, probably the smaller aspect of it. But the rest are the human-related aspects. Okay, the user behavior, what other side or other side? What do we do? What are we supposed to do that we are also not doing? These are the triggers. The same attack that brought this discussion. Somebody clicking a link, attachment in an email, that triggered, let's say, the first process of attacking the whole environment. So it comes back to the human being, the user of the computer systems. The responsibility, I don't want to talk about morals here, but the responsibility of the user, responsibility also means awareness, education, because I'm using this device. I've got to be responsible.
Well, but let's be open about the issues. If there are any particular kinds of sites that increases a person's vulnerability.
I'll give you two. Top one, pornography websites. If you are found of visiting pornography website, certainly the degree of being affected. Torrent website, the cracked versions of operating system and maps, where do they get it from? It's from torrent website. So if these are the sites that we are doing our activities.
And by torrent, you're talking about the sites that are used to download stuff.
Download this.
Okay.
Free movies, free apps, free. When we are even downloading viruses and we think they are actually antivirus, that is the behavior of the users. But let's move it to the corporate level. My expectation is businesses should be able to train their employees in information security risks, cybersecurity risks awareness program. Multimedia, for example, Joy FM, for example, have to run employees through so that their
so you should know which site to visit, what to click, where to download, where not to download.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you use this for? Possibly, and be frank, you speaking to your viewers. Have you got antivirus installed on your phone?
I'm not sure I have.
I wish you look really nice.
The camera is on you, it's not on me.
I hope, please, could you? I think we need to have a frank discussion.
So we must have antivirus on our phones.
Absolutely. I just want to bring up a certain gap, right? A certain gap, cybersecurity, vulnerability that we are always exposed to. We use this for almost everything we use a computer for. But the level of protection that we provide to these devices are almost non-existent. So in that case, you are using this, let's say, for mobile money transaction. Your PIN might be, stolen by any of the malicious programs we are talking about here. If you don't think the next day you go to MTN, you have taken my money. Possibly a third party sitting somewhere who may have intercepted this. So these are the dimensions that we need to create better awareness for users of the system.
Maximus, is this not cumbersome to expect average, ordinary citizens, billions of people across the world who are using these smartphones and tablets and computers to be able to be tech savvy enough to have all of these protections that you are advocating?
Yeah, I think it's very simple, right? Most of the times you buy these devices, we don't even read the manuals. You don't know the do's and don'ts of a mobile phone.
These pages and pages that they
slot
gave.
in your SIM card, you think you're okay. There are a lot of things. You see, people can listen to your conversation. As for phone tapping, when they said they are buying devices to do spying, there are so many ways of doing the same thing. Now, if I give you a knife, and you don't know how to use a knife, I have to teach you how to use it. It's natural. Otherwise, you harm yourself. You use your same strength to cut your fingers. Likewise, if you're going to use a digital device or a connected device, you have to know how to manage that so that it will not be injurious to yourself.
Why can't the people who are producing these things put in those safeguards that protects me? Why do you have to put on me a burden to have to protect myself?
No, but you are going to use the device, right? They don't know the extent to which you can use the device, right? For example, the CEO of WhatsApp mentions Ghana at the Mobile World Congress as the country that uses WhatsApp in creative ways that they never imagined. Ghana. Now, I'm not sure when they were designing WhatsApp, they thought that Ghanaians were going to use WhatsApp in this particular way. So there are basic functionalities that they build into apps, right? Check your emails, open this one. There are protocols where two platforms communicate with each other. And then the device becomes an access point or a master key to open stuff online. But you have to know where you are opening. So if you don't know that, don't go to pornographic sites, you don't go to torrent sites to go and download movies. Whilst you are downloading, they're also uploading your information, right, from your device. You will be at risk. You may think, oh, I don't have anything on my device, but you can connect your phone tomorrow to a laptop, and then the virus can be transferred onto your laptop, and then the laptop can be shut down the same way. If you ask even the Iranian government, they will tell you a simple pen drive stalled their nuclear project over 15 years, pen drive. So as a country, for me, who even audits or checks all these devices to even find out whether there are viruses already installed on them, or they are even listening to people's phone calls?
Absolutely.
Or even SIM cards have viruses on them already installed.
That's a fundamental point Maximus raised, because I remember following a story, I think somewhere early this year.
Correct.
About the CIA was suspected to be using Samsung TVs, I think, some category of television sets.
Yes, Samsung.
To kind of snoop on people. And it was a big discussion. Do we have the capabilities to be able to look into these, determine whether these devices are not encrypted in ways that will be used to steal information from us?
Malik, this also brings out some realism here. When you're talking of, in fact, I didn't want to move into the dimension of national security and CIA and others, but they have a mandate, right? As you have a mandate as a journalist.
Yeah.
So if somebody is a CIA, a national security guy, he has a clear mandate. Their mandate is to protect the national interest and security of the state. And as far as I know, they have all the available legal, operational mandate to do their work.
Yeah.
So in that case, somebody is doing his work.
Yeah.
The developer should also be able to do his work. If you are developing, that means that fundamentally, you need to make sure you integrate your security. If you don't do that, somebody is doing his work, is able to. The hacker is, once again, also doing his work. And by the way, they're actually contributing to raising standards in terms of security.
Yeah.
You see, I don't want us to be so moralistic. Let's do a bit of, let's be pragmatic so that we can really appreciate the role that each party within this whole ecosystem has to play.
So, given where you said, you know what the capabilities are. Are we up to it? Have our national security and all of those operatives, have they demonstrated that we are capable? I said this remembering that last year or the year before, I think the presidency's website was hijacked, it was attacked. There were ministries whose websites were also attacked and all of that in Ghana. That's why I'm asking whether we are capable.
You know what, Malik, after this, I think
dangerous question,
no,
but it's fair.
I got an answer. After this, let's quickly bring Honorable Kandapa to answer some of these questions for you. And now to comment on the website thing. Of course, we were all in this country. We work with NITA, we collaborate. It's just an ecosystem. One thing was fundamental in the world of technology. Hacking is an existential threat. I hope you understand. It is something that, it's like you live and at a point in time, you're going to die. It is. But of course, once again, the human action comes, institutional action or, state action and other things. That is where we can analyze and see what didn't we do right. In the case of government website, of course, there were more than 10 websites which were targeted.
So what didn't we do right?
Absolutely. We were supposed to. Basically, the infrastructures were running on outdated, CMS, content management, the infrastructure which is used to create a website.
So where was the national security whilst this was happening?
Well, I think that is it. That is a good question in terms of national security. No, once again, it's not. It's a mandate of NITA. It's a NITA set. NITA set at the time where we're building up. That was the time that the set itself was being set up. It was fairly.
So you're talking about NITA is National Information Technology Agency.
Absolutely, and there's a computer emergency response team. At the time, they were being set up. Actually,
are they still at the Ghana House?
They've moved to the new communications building. But then, it's a functioning set now. You see, once again, we also have to look at the growth of, the development in terms of our cyber capability. Malik, let's be real. We can have it smooth like one day. Beyond the financial argument, it is more like work in progress kind of activity. Right, so whenever I assess our cyber security capability, I just don't look at, okay, what have we achieved? We've been operating in this country for close to 6 years now. And at least I can count last year, November, Ghana has passed, Cabinet has passed a national cyber security policy and strategy, which is a big thing, right? Currently, we have Electronic Transactions Acts that have happened to have been facilitated on some of the programs for judges. And it's brilliant in terms of addressing cybersecurity issues. Now you ask me, what is the gap? We got to train those who are going to operationalize the law. You understand? So there are gaps.
So you can understand
absolutely. Operationalize means if you're a prosecutor, what is your role here? The judges sitting on cases. The investigators, what are the rules of engagement when it comes to electronic evidence? This are being done. SET is operating at the national level, and even today I was having a discussion with Derek Akumia. But what is happening? The SET needs to bring every stakeholder together, private sector, public sector, so that we can also step up the operability of what? The SET. So, Malik, where I sit and what I'm seeing, of course, I wish that the government has put every money there to raise the cyber security capability up to probably 90%. But I think it's a gradual development, and we should encourage that kind of trend.
Albert is a very typical diplomat. He's managed to dress up the issues and make them look so beautiful. I have to take a short break. When we come back, I'll be asking Maximus whether he shares Albert's concerns and optimism, or he thinks there are bigger problems that we are not confronting frontally. Keep watching. Yeah, welcome back. You are watching PM Express, and we are talking cyber security. I have my own fears. This man is being diplomatic. He's trying to assuage my fears. Let me talk to Maximus. I hope that he will be more frontal. When you make an assessment of our cybersecurity systems, do you view things with trepidation, or you think, well, things are moving well, they are moving up, there's an upward trajectory as he tries to paint the picture?
Yeah, I think government is doing very well in that space. Like
really?
The previous years.
And the government's own systems are being hijacked left, right, center.
Yes, because even when the WikiLeaks, the Assange issue happened.
Julian Assange.
Even hackers hacked MasterCard, FBI, CIA, all their websites were all pulled down. The same country with the most advanced technology. So any system can be attacked. There are so many vulnerabilities in the system. When the hackers want to find it, they can find it. And trust you me, some of the hackers even engineer or develop those systems for the people, right? So in our small corner, the government is putting all those policies and acts and laws in place, setting up all the NITA and SETs and all those organizations. But we need to also beef up the human resource and then the skills of the people who manage those platforms so that they become the online gatekeepers. You need online gatekeepers to be able to even anticipate some of these things, to be able to even educate people that when this happens, do A, B, C, D to make sure it doesn't happen to you again, or anybody who falls victim is used as a case study so others don't fall victim. We need to, empower those organizations, the NITES and the SETs, to be able to do that. And I think we have the right policies also as well. You know, we used to give our information free. You go to a place, they ask you your name, phone number, contact number, and then the company you are coming from. You fill the notebook for free.
Everything.
Now they have data
protection agents.
Yes.
Yeah, data protection commission.
Right. So all those people are supposed to be data controllers. They are supposed to subscribe to that. A lot of them don't do that. Right. So we are giving our information free to other people. Now, as an individual, I must have a personal cybersecurity policy that I will not give out private information to people I don't even know. If my bank sends me an email asking me to reset my password, I better physically walk to the bank and do whatever it is, even inquire whether it's even true or not. I will not, mention my password to people off my phone. Maybe you can be someplace and you bought maybe a scratch card for somebody. I heard that incident where somebody bought a scratch card. So I'm sending Albert a scratch card, and I'm in the car and I'm mentioning the number.
And then somebody
by the
is
time it's done,
the
Albert says, so the thing is not working. Somebody has used it already because somebody was typing. Those basic security stuff, we are not even thinking about this. So for individuals, you must have an online policy. If I don't know you, I don't know your email address, I don't click anything, I delete. Call me on phone and tell me you are resending the email. I'm safer that way. So we need to do that. And government is also doing their side. And we can become the loopholes, because if there will be any attack in this country, it will go through an individual. They won't go and attack a government system directly.
Albert,
Malik, go ahead.
We as citizens are required to do all of this.
Correct.
One of the constant refrains that we hear is that the average Ghanaian is simply not security conscious. Even ordinary security, he was mentioning a knife. You go into people's homes and you see knives all over the place. You go and talk to somebody for the first time you have met them, they will give you their entire family history, their business, and Pastor Mensa Otabil keeps talking about this. You meet somebody in the plane, they will tell you their whole business and their net worth and where their money is. If you push further, they may even tell you their bank account number. How do you expect these same citizens who are so unconscious when it comes to security, even the ordinary simple things, now to be conscious about security of their devices, phone, TV, computer?
I think you are right, and I agree with you that our assessment suggests that typically Ghanaians are not security conscious. They give information freely, and that has led to several breaches, and it happens also even within the cyber environment, and I think that is a real danger. Whilst recognizing the fact that we need not to sell fear to users of devices, on the other hand, we need to, as a country, we also need to promote the usage of ICT. Right? We were not lucky to start from the scratch. I remember when I got to Europe, in my age, trying to type on a keyboard. I don't think we want our kids to struggle. That we need them to start as faster compared to how we started. Now, there should be a balance. How do we promote the usage of ICT but still achieve that kind of security that we're talking
and
here?
Protect everyone.
Protects everyone. That means that at the stage where you are introducing the child or the citizen or the person into the ICT or whichever platform, that security program should accompany the process. I'll give you two examples. One is at the educational level. When we started operating in this country, we conducted analysis. How many institutions within this country are running ICT or computer programs?
Okay.
Several. How many of them were running information security or cybersecurity? Probably less than 5%. That's the biggest issue that we identified. We pick a programmer developer. Yes, I've learned how to program. C++, Java, I've learned them. Which component, which course did you do
the technical
in information security? Zero. No. In my course, If you want to develop, I'll put you on a security program first so that before you start coding, you know that you need to follow the protocols of security. That is one side where there are gaps that we need to address. Let's move to the personal level. Massimo has got, let's say, a teenage daughter. You want the teenage daughter to use Facebook, right? You don't just jump, oh, go to Facebook and make connection. People do it better. Possibly they could start by having common friends together. When somebody requests, Mom, okay, I've got a request here. You check, you verify. You build that culture, right? I've mentioned the cyber problem is not just a technology problem. The social dimension of the Ghanaian has to be looked at in addressing cybersecurity issues. We need to. It's a cultural, social problem more than a technical problem. Let's appreciate that so that in our individual ways, within our businesses, within the country, we can study those dimensions, address the fundamental gaps. Then there could be a perfect, marriage between ourselves and technology. That's
so, Maximus, I have a phone.
Yes.
And I have a laptop. How should I handle them so I can be sure that I have protected myself to a reasonable degree?
Yeah, so the first one, your devices must be authentic, original devices, right?
Let's see if it's not using, I don't want to mention it.
If you're not using...
I'm not going to respond to Albert, who is questioning my phone.
Has some IDs embedded in them, right? There are libraries of information in the phones. I remember last year, Tanzania has to even kill off our 60 or 600,000 phones because they had false IME numbers. You know, the phones, yes. So they have fake ones. So people manufacture handsets and they are supposed to get the library of those IME numbers from GSMA, the authority in charge, so that every phone has an identity. So the number one is the hardware you're going to use must be original. It must be something that is being certified, right? Because if there's vulnerability in the device, you can equally
go to Tiptoe Lane to go and buy my phone.
Yeah, so don't go to Tiptoe Lane to go and buy your phone, right? So the next level is the software that runs on it. So your Windows, don't go and get fake Windows or you pirate some Windows or download a free operating system online and then install on the hard drive and you think you're safe.
But if I can get it and I will not pay for it.
With sand.
Oh.
Yes. So how can you even put windows and doors and think you are secured? When it rains, your house will crumble down. So hardware first, software, and then what they call now the middleware, other gadgets that you connect to your devices and all those softwares. You must also make sure that you are using very original ones, and then make sure that all the softwares are up to date. Basically that. And then when you are accessing your online channels, especially your emails, when we see attachment, I don't know, we all get excited about attachment. Somebody sends an attachment, and sometimes people steal information and use social engineering. Okay, buy this and get 100,000. Or Malik, you've won 100,000. Then you click on the link. The next one is download the document so you fill it and send it to me. So you would think you are going to download the document. Apparently, you are just installing a virus on your machine, right? So the next moment, I can hack that machine and use it for whatever I want to do, or even ask you to pay the $300 via Bitcoin.
Unbelievable. Albert, are we in a very perilous state?
Wait, I'll make two references. A few weeks ago, I was at a program, and the National Security Minister, Honorable Kandapa, made a statement that cybercrime is among the top security threats that Ghana is facing, right? I just want to give some scientific backing.
Yeah, you do that quickly because we have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. So that tells you it is a security issue that borders not just...
So the authorities know.
Then the Minister for Communications has also mentioned that the ministry developing a cyber security, governance structure, because that is a basic system that you need to operationalize the policy and the strategy, which as you mentioned. It means that on one hand, The issue has been identified. On the other hand, specific measures are being done. My expectation is we should do more of training, capacity building of the state institutions to be able to do their mandate, data protection, NCA. Then we should also focus on standardization and enforcement.
Yeah.
That is the basis for best practice to be able to contribute to the best development of our cybersecurity in the country.
And when all of these are done, you think we are not imperiled?
At least we'll be protected. It's easier not losing your arm than, when you have a cut, it's better than losing your arm.
On that note, I'm profoundly grateful. Maximus Ametogo, he's my friend. We don't get to talk a lot because he doesn't pass by Joy FM these days quite frequently as he used to do.
Money as well.
Maximus is a digital marketing strategist, and of course, Albert Inchibuesaku. He is a principal consultant at the E-Crime Bureau. My name is Malik Abbas Dabu. If you like my beautiful shirt, call Latida. Latida produced this one for me. They produce for Samsung as well. Mine is nicer than Samsung. Until we bring you another exciting discussion on PM Express, my name is Malik Abbas Dabu. Bye-bye.